Hello humans, I'm Paul Mount and you're very welcome to my world of stuff. Just a short video tonight. It's Wednesday the 17th of March 2021 here in the UK, and we're all, I think, gearing up for the big battle of the superhero franchises coming up in the next couple of days. DC versus Marvel. Coincidentally or not, I suspect not, because tomorrow, which is Thursday, launches the Snyder cut, as it's called, of the Justice League film, which you recall came out a couple of years ago under less than perfect circumstances, when it was directed by Joss Whedon, who salvaged what had been filmed by Zack Snyder, who'd had to leave the project for personal reasons. And the film that came out wasn't the best, should we say. I think that there appeared to be lots of issues. Snyder had filmed hours and hours of content. Warner Brothers, a bit edgy by the poor reception to Snyder's Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice film, wanted to cut it down to something more manageable that was around the 2-hour mark. Joss Whedon, I think, did his best, probably. I don't know, Joss Whedon's slightly off limits at the moment, but I think he was sort of soured and burned by his experience doing Avengers Age of Ultron, which, let's face it, wasn't as good as Avengers Assemble. And he turned in a disappointing film. It had flourishes of Whedon sort of wit, but that combination of him and what Snyder had already done in his usual dark, gritty and slightly pretentious tone didn't work. The film just didn't work. It was a bit of a disaster. There have been calls ever since about the Snyder cut, with Snyder back to finish the project the way he'd intended, and I have to admit I didn't think it would ever happen. I knew the footage was there, but with the film already having done poorly at the box office, I could see no reason why the studio would finance a salvage of any sort, especially if it involved reshoots. However, I've been proven wrong, not for the first time, and it's happened. HBO Max in America are going to be screening this thing, making it available tomorrow. I think it's just over 4 hours long. So Snyder's gone back and reinstated the excised material. He's filmed some new material, and the early reports from America are that it's a better film. That's purely on the basis that it couldn't be much worse. It sounds as if he's given it some cohesion, which it didn't have before. My concern, of course, it's 4 hours. I'm not, when it's available over here, I won't be sitting down for 4 hours to watch this. I'll be watching it in chunks, possibly hour chunks, or maybe 2 hours at a time, because 4 hours? I mean, come on. I'm not entirely sure when it's available, legitimately over here, because, of course, we don't have HBO Max over here. I understand it's available for streaming from April the 1st, but the world being what it is, I'm sure people will get to see it before then, one way or another. Of course, the competition, if you like, arrives on Friday on Disney Plus, with the arrival of the second Marvel TV series, the official Disney Plus Marvel TV series, following up the fabulous WandaVision, which finished a couple of weeks ago. We've got a 6-part series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. Which is clearly not going to be as iconoclastic and challenging as WandaVision, and demanding and mysterious. It's going to be more a rip-roaring Marvel film on TV in 6 episodes. And I'm down for that. Don't worry about that. I'm down for that because I am very much a Marvel boy through and through. Historically, back as a kid in the 60s, I was reading Batman and Superman. I was aware of the Justice League and Wonder Woman and all these characters, Aquaman. But it's only when I sort of properly discovered Marvel back in the early 70s that I sort of realised what Marvel were doing was slightly different, and I just became more interested in those characters because they seemed a bit more believable. Superman was a god, Batman was a millionaire, Wonder Woman was this mysterious creature from another civilization, and Aquaman swam underwater. I couldn't really identify with them, and I hate that concept of identifying with characters, because I don't know how true it is that people do identify with people they watch on the screen, but that's by the by. I just found the Marvel characters, with their humanity and their believability, much more interesting. And although I moved away from comics towards the end of the 70s, I still find those characters quite compelling, and I'm in awe of the way that Marvel's brought them to the screen, particularly on the big screen, of course. And they've certainly made good inroads now with WandaVision, which has kicked off their TV run in fine style, shall we say. I know people had issues with the last episode, but I think generally people were pretty much knocked out with the way that Marvel subverted expectations and delivered something completely different. Even though, yeah, towards the end it became that Marvel formula, if you want to call it that, because I think there are expectations and people want certain things and expect to see certain things from Marvel product, and WandaVision, I think in the final episode, delivered that whether you wanted it or not. I was quite happy with it, although I understand that, you know, some people had issues. So we've got Falcon and Winter Soldier arriving, first 6 episodes on Friday, and I can't wait for that because I'm a fan of those characters anyway. I think that they've got that warmth that the MCU bring to all their characters, no matter how outlandish they are. If you think that they made huge box office success of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's hard to imagine anything more extreme than Guardians of the Galaxy. They made that work, and they made those characters household names. I trust Marvel. I think they can do it. They've got the Eternals coming out later this year, which is even more obscure, but apparently it's one of their best films. But I'm just looking forward to seeing Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I like the characters. I think they're good actors. I've met them both as well, which helps. A few years ago I went to the press launch in London for Captain America Civil War, where 6 or 7 journals were wheeled in, and the cast were wheeled in 2s and 3s for a Q&A session, and they were both charming guys, particularly Anthony Mackie. I really sort of thought he was a nice guy, and a really approachable sort of bloke. But that's by the by. So I'm looking forward to that very, very much. But having said that, I am looking forward to Justice League, to see what Snyder's done with it. Whereas I wasn't a month ago. I would have gone, oh God, I can't manage it, and I'm not going to watch it in one big lump because life's too short. But I will watch it in bits. Probably, it depends how compelling it is. If I watch an hour and think, oh, I'll watch some more of this, maybe I'll do it in 2. But there's no way I'll be watching 4 hours of it. So my interest level has gone up for Justice League, certainly. So yeah, I'll be looking at it when, however it becomes available, one way or another. I think it's April the 1st, it's available internationally. But the reports, the reviews have been good. Some of the early reviews have been quite promising. It's clearly going to be better than the original version, which I saw in the cinema. I bought the Blu-ray, had no intention of really watching it again. But I'll be interested to see what Snyder has done with it, and if he's turned it into something worthwhile. I mean, for me, it's always Marvel. I mean, I like some of the DC films. There's been a handful of DC films, but there have been too many train wrecks, so I don't really trust them to treat their properties with the care and attention that Marvel do, because they don't. Marvel Studios approach each project on its own merits, and they develop it in a certain way. Now, whether you don't like the Marvel formula, the formula at its core is to make good entertainment, and I think DC, they farm their products out to different production companies and studios, so you don't get that sense of continuity, you don't get that sense of world or universe building, because you've got characters like Superman and the Flash on TV, but now you've got film versions of Superman and the Flash who are different. Umpteen different Batman, whatever you want to call them. So it's just too messy. Whereas I can invest in Marvel because the characters all live and breathe in the same universe, even though we don't see them in every different product. So to wrap up, I'm looking forward to seeing both. Obviously, the Falcon and Winter Soldier is the one I'm really sort of hyped up for, but I'm intrigued to see what happens with Justice League. So if you're out there, if you're watching this, if anybody's watching these videos, let me know which one that you're most keen to see, what your hopes are, what your fears might be. Do you fear that Justice League will be a train wreck? Are you concerned that Falcon and Winter Soldier will just be another Marvel mashup? Let me know in those, as I say, the comments down below. You can like, you can subscribe, you can even share this, encourage people. If you're remotely enjoying this content, just recommend me to your chums. I'm not going to be reinventing the wheel as far as YouTube is concerned. I'm just coming on here, venting my spleen occasionally and commenting about stuff that I like, and hopefully you do too. So let me know what you think about this Battle of the Superhero Giants coming up this weekend, and I'll report back soon, and there will be a review of the weekend of the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and various other bits and pieces coming soon. So don't go away. Well, go away now, but come back.
See? That wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Hey. Is you ready? Ready.
Okay.
You say you ready.
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready. Ready.
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready?
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?